himself. Rather, it discusses the history of traditions, their compilation and classification, their role, collection, and preservation, and so forth. A useful work in English is the Introduction to Hadith by Abdul Hadi al-Madli, including the Hejrat al-Hadith of al-Shahid al-Thani, translated by Najmina al-Barji.
Just one more paragraph. Needless to say, familiarity
with the traditions, al-Hadith himself is indispensable, just as familiarity with the Quran's verses is indispensable for one studying Uloom al-Quran or tafsir. A student therefore needs to read works of Hadith all the time and gain familiarity with the multitude of al-Hadith available. The verses of the Quran and the Hadith text are the building blocks and the most fundamental material on which all Islamic sciences rest. Without them, there would nothing to study.
Okay, as you take from this part of the discussion, Uloom al-Hadith, first of all, it is a new science. We don't find Uloom al-Hadith in the time of Rasulullah or in the time of Imam alayhi salam. It is very new, maybe less than 2-3 centuries among scholars. And also for both Shia and Sunnis, they have Uloom al-Hadith. So Uloom al-Hadith is not only for Sunni or for Shia. For all scholars who approach Hadith, they have this science and they have to learn this science. And this science, Uloom al-Hadith, is very important because whatever about Hadith, the reliability of Hadith, the authenticity of Hadith, the goodness of Hadith, we have to discuss in Uloom al-Hadith. So in Uloom al-Hadith, or the science of Hadith, includes whatever discussion and topics about Hadith, about Matn and Isnad. So we can say Uloom al-Hadith has several parts, or several categories, or several topics. One topic is Ilm al-Diraya, inshallah we'll talk more about Ilm al-Diraya, and one topic is Ilm al-Rijal, so inshallah we'll talk more about. And also, one important thing in Uloom al-Hadith is divisions of Hadith. As you see here, the Hadith literature can broadly be divided into at least 4 categories, depending on the themes dealt with in tradition. First, whatever belongs to Aqeedah. So we can categorize these parts of Hadith as the Usul al-Din, or the part of Aqeedah. The second, whatever belongs to Irfan and Akhlaq. So we have several books, maybe hundreds of books. It is only in Ahadith, the collection of Hadith, in Akhlaq and Irfan. Thirdly, Ahadith about fiqh. Maybe 1,000 books, even now, we have just in Hadith, which includes talk about fiqh and Sharia. And finally, we have Hadith for Tariq, history. For example, history of Tabari, history of Ibn Hisham, history of Ibn Asakir. There are many historical books. When you refer to these historical books, you will find many hadiths over there. Even a historian is talking about history, but he brings some ahadith in his book, and he collected some ahadith in history. So we can categorize hadith broadly into 4 categories. Now we come to the hadith collection, the very important part of hadith. When we say hadith collection, you know, in the time of Rasulullah, peace be upon him, there was no attempt to collect hadith. Why? Because first of all companions tried to memorize Quran, and they insist on Quran. And also, just when they are watching Rasulullah doing his a'mal, everything in daily life, they just follow him. There was no attempt to sit down and write down, okay, Rasulullah did this, Rasulullah did that. No, there was no attempt. But after Rasulullah, peace be upon him, and after some companions, some Sahaba died, okay, maybe it was in the time of 3rd Khalifa, or after 3rd and 4th Khalifa, it was the time of Bani Umayyah. that when many Sahaba die, they just come to this solution and to this decision that, okay, it is very dangerous to lose and to miss all these Sahaba, and it's better to sit down and write whatever they receive from Rasulullah. So the writing of hadith, the writing of the words of Rasulullah started maybe 50 years, 60 years after Rasulullah, not in the time of Rasulullah. Yes, in some cases, some very, very small and specific cases, like in the case of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Amirul Mu'minin Salamullah alayhi, and Fatimah al-Zahra Salamullah alayha, and some very small group, few, they try to write something. For example, we have some writings from Amirul Mu'minin, some writings from Fatimah al-Zahra. We call Mushaf Alawi, Mushaf Ali ibn Abi Talib, or Mushaf Fatimah al-Zahra, or Mushaf Sahif al-Sajjadiyya, something like this. But it is not in our hand. We don't have any knowledge about Mushaf Fatimah. We don't have any knowledge about Mushaf Amirul Mu'minin. It passed to Imams. So Imam after Imam, they receive this Mushaf and they keep it. But in a regular basis, for regular people, there was no attempt to sit down and write a hadith. Okay? In the time of Bani Umayyah, yes, just it was the beginning of writing hadith. Until the time of the beginning of Bani al-Abbas. So in the time of Bani al-Abbas, which was the time of Imam Sadiq and Imam Baqir, and it was a big classes in fiqh and hadith, it was the best time. And I think the beginning of writing hadith and collecting hadith, thousands and thousands and thousands of hadith. So whatever we have today, even in Sunni class, in Sunni madhab, in Shia madhab, I think the beginning of this ahadith comes from the time of Bani Abbas and the time of Aim alayhim salam. And later on, after 100 years, there was a collection, first collection for Sunni, we call Sahih Bukhari. And then second collection, Sahih Muslim, and so and so and so. And for Shia, we have also some collections after 100 years. And we call these collections Al-Kutub al-Arba'a. There are 4 main books for Shia. You will see all this information here, inshallah. Okay, so we go to the third part of the discussion, Hadith collection. Could you please?
Traditions of the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the early history of Islam was passed down orally for more than 100 years after Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's death in 10th of Hijrah. Muslim historians say the Hadith collection and evaluation continued during the Umayyad period. However, much of this activity was presumably oral transmission from early Muslims to later collectors, or from teachers to students. If any of these early scholars committed any of these collections in writing, they have not survived. The histories of Hadith collections we have today were written down at the start of the Abbasi period, more than 100 years after the Prophet Muhammad's death.
Okay, thank you. So we have some idea right now, about the beginning of collecting and writing the Hadith. And then we have a division, and we call Sunni and Shia. Actually, let me tell you something before we enter the discussion. In the very beginning, even in the time of A'imma alayhim salam, there was no so strict line between Sunni and Shia. And for example, somebody can say, okay, this masjid belongs to Sunni, this masjid belongs to Shia. This classroom belongs to Sunni, this classroom belongs to Shia. No. Even if you enter Masjed Al-Nabi in the time of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and Imam Sadiq was a teacher, it was about 1,000 to 2,000 students attending this class. And 75%, can you believe? 80% were Sunni. They are not believing in the imamah of Imam Sadiq, but they believe in his knowledge. They believe in him as a grandson of Prophet. They believe in him as a great alim. So they attend the class, they write down the hadith, And even more interesting, if now you refer to the sources of Shia, for example, sources of Shia, these 4 books, as we will explain more, you will find some narrators, some recorders, some narrators are Sunni. They are not the believers of A'imma, they are not believing in Imams or something like this, but they are good people, they are mu'min.